Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Glasgow and to the National Hockey Centre for day 2 of the Hockey World League Round 1 with a couple of great games yesterday, and we're looking forward to the action ahead. The first match up is Portugal and Switzerland, which is underway in just under 10 minutes time, and it's two sides that lost yesterday. Portugal with a bit of fight. Switzerland were easily defeated in the end by Scotland, who they are in action later on against Slovakia, who we haven't seen yet in the lowest ranked side in the competition out of the 5 sides here. So 5 o'clock is the first match, 7:15 the second, and that is how it stands. Obviously early stages in the week's proceedings, with Scotland and Wales with 3 points apiece in the table. Slovakia have yet to play, but Portugal and Switzerland have got work to do, especially the Swiss, who goal difference will come into it if they've got a chance of qualifying. They shipped 5 yesterday. So great to be here once again, and looking forward to the couple of games ahead in this World League Round 1. We've got Neil Sturrock, who was with us yesterday, FIH coach, alongside myself, Callum Patterson. Well, we've had 24 hours now and a couple of decent games to get us going. What do we expect today? Because this has got a real fascinating edge about it.
Absolutely, and having spoken to both coaches, I think they were slightly disappointed yesterday, but they both agreed that the opposition that they were up against were a lot stronger than they were. They talked about the intensity of the game, the ball pace, and the physicality and speed that Wales and Scotland showed, and both of them admitted that the preparation for their teams up to this point had not included teams of that calibre. So I think Portugal were happy with their second half against Wales, which they only lost 2-1. They had a little bit more structure about them, and they reverted to a back four, which saw them be able to play the ball out a little bit more. Switzerland took the decision yesterday that Scotland had a very mobile and aggressive midfield, and so tried to go the aerial route quite a lot to try and bypass that and see if they could create things at the Scotland defensive end, and failed really to create an awful lot. But I think today I think you'll see Switzerland try and play the ball out a bit more, but their coach admitted they've got a very young side, 7 players under 21.
Okay, it's time for the anthems. Well, two Welsing anthems, but I think award of the week so far will go to that Portugal anthem. That was full of heart, as we will take a little look at the names that matter for this first game in for Portugal. Well, a battling display it was in the end against the Welsh, but it was a defeat despite a decent second half display. Miguel Rodriguez and David Franco impressed. There's no Luis Tavares, who's suspended after getting a red card for abusive language, but they do have a lot of fight in there, and they'll be looking to get off the board today against a Swiss side who struggled. And looking at their side, Patrick Müller is the captain, the notable player in there. Played airily in a formation and a threat which didn't really work out against the Scots. Nick Schwer was one of those that was lively. They're 30th ranked and were one of those sides on paper that we were talking about that could be up there with Scotland and Wales trying to qualify. So that's a bit of a brief look at the sides, and I think one thing we should notice, both players impressed, Rodriguez and Franco, Portugal, and we'll say that again, they did impress, but I know one or two of the Portuguese numbers went slipping and sliding about and changing hands just ahead of the game. So even officially on our boards and the official FIH board, it's still giving yesterday's Portugal goal to David Franco, but in the end it was actually Miguel Rodriguez that was wearing the wrong number. So all fun and games, but Portugal, those two players anyway, did impress, didn't they?
Absolutely, and I think apologies to the families of these two Portuguese players yesterday for us getting them wrong. Sometimes it can be incompetence, but in that occasion it was down to the wrong players wearing the shirt numbers. Really looking forward to this game as a coach to see. Yesterday both these sides were under the cosh a little bit. They were playing higher ranked teams that moved the ball faster. This should be a slightly more level playing field. I know that Chris Faust, the coach of the Swiss team, is looking to develop his young players. He says they're not playing at high enough intensity domestically, and therefore at the international level he needs to get them more high level competition. So we'll see what they can do with this game today.
Almost ready to go for the first period. It is the Swiss who are in white, and off we go. And the umpires are Shane O'Donnell from Ireland, Ian Diamond once again in from Scotland. So they'll be the two in yellow with whistles. And already some early turn and spin away by Marco Michel. The Swiss, you sense they will get far more possession today. Trying to get in there very quickly and towards the D, but certainly they'll be looking to cause a bit more problems because they struggled with Scotland keeping so much of the ball in last night's encounter.
Yeah, and you can see there they're looking this time to build the ball up a bit more. Not pressing the Portuguese too much, waiting for them to make a loose pass in the middle.
Flick away by Müller, supporting Michel. On the chase, Fabian Wilschläger slides to leave it for Michel with the free hit and looking for a little burrow. Rodriguez, I can tell you, isn't his right number today, 7. Franco is in 5. But those are the two numbers that we're looking to have a good game again today. Penetra gets in there well, and neat bit of skill from Rogerson. Just ran out of road a little bit there. Yves Mordard was back. Mordard was the player in question that was green carded in the game last night against Scotland. Hillman. Was for Keller. Already look like a different prospect. Trying to find Hoodle in there. Ribeiro. Yeah, fast-paced start. Clutterings galore, but Müller gets away looking for Michel. Cut back there was Samuel Pinheiro. Goes Schlegger. Got a bit of long wind, decide to go short with Hellman. Space and time on the turn is Hoodle. Out comes Camacho. He was busy yesterday and busy again early on. Keller. Neat for Hoodle. Rodriguez did well initially, but still going. Here's Keller. And well, they're certainly getting the upper hand in the opening few minutes here, the Swiss.
Yeah, they're playing quite well down this left-hand side, creating good openings. Portuguese look as though they're trying to give them that channel, but the Swiss are getting some success in being able to get down and get some circle entries.
We heard that crash. It wasn't thunder. It was just the ball going hitting the top of the stand here. A few in, including I'm sure one or two supporting these sides. Obviously a bit of a journey to it here. But, it's a nicer day as well in Glasgow. At least for the moment it's overcast, but it's fair. Pretty warm as well, and pretty warm in towards the D for the Portuguese. Rogerson was waiting around, good to play in the build-up through Penetra. Fabian Volschlager gets it away again. Nicely done by Michel. Rogerson in the road, temporarily only. It's the white jersey sworn forward, Jan Hoodle. Hoodle dialing his way in. Ivo Moreira around. Apparently trying to counter whenever they can, and Vasco Ribeiro was looking for the threat up front, but never quite found Penetra.
A great interception by Muller there. Missed that one, and the Portuguese were through in on goal.
Hellman. In the end, Rodriguez the man to stop. Got themselves the free hit here, Portland. There's Rodriguez. Couldn't quite find someone in red, tried to get things going quickly to try and catch the Swiss unawares.
Interesting that the Portuguese have started today with back three again, as they started against Wales, with a diamond in the middle, and just giving the Swiss a little bit of possession.
Now, you mentioned when they went to a 4 in the second period, they seemed to get a bit more just joy, especially the first 10-15 minute period of that second half.
Yeah, they managed to find the wider channels and go down there. At the moment, they're not managing to either close down the Swiss build-up quickly enough, and they're not getting the ball out every time they have it.
Hellman, again spaced down the left, not taken. Well, cut out in the end it was by Pinheiro, and now he's involved again, trying to help his side get forward. Clare was on the floor, back to his feet, and no time to rest. Feller cut out by Aris Vallet.
Two occasions there they've just turned the ball over, the Swiss, round about the Portuguese circle, and it's because the players have gone too close to the defender in the barrier of the stick. They haven't been able to get the ball round the outside. They need to release that pass a couple of steps earlier, just to be able to get it past the defender.
Hellman forward, trying to turn there. Schwer going himself. Hellman trying to control, and it's going to go the Portuguese way. Schwer coming off the sidelines and getting involved very quickly. Ribeiro looking for the little thread ball for Penetra. That was always coming together.
Some good hockey on both sides. A nice open game playing into the spaces. Portuguese showing a little bit more than they did in the first half yesterday, and certainly the Swiss controlling. Again, playing with their back four and their centre mid in their own half, but most of the other players very high. Just the way the Portuguese are playing it, the Swiss getting a lot of space.
Morelli is the one with the mask on, and they're trying to get the ball back unsuccessfully. Pinheiro found support, and it's nice and neat for Miguel Rodriguez. Back with Schwer. Turn away from Sebastian Schneider. Greder is in the D waiting, but instead goes behind to Schwer. Keller to Müller. And just running out of road there was Apel. Müller remains with the side in white.
Lots of space over on the left hand side here. Morard stepping up.
Here he is, Michael Morard. That's certainly a place where they're finding a lot of gaps in the first 10 minutes. Forward by Stomps. Morelli trying to look it in towards the circle. Now Portugal come away with it. Rogerson claiming and gets the decision and quickly taken. Back there to recover was Yves Morard.
Again, an important interception, and with the change in the rules that allows the players to now play the ball above their shoulder, shows the skills that the players are now having to be able to show to stop that ball going through to the Portuguese forward.
Rodriguez trying to turn himself away.
Yeah, he wanted to take it quickly, but the umpire wanted it on the line since it was a line ball.
Morera stretching, just struggling to keep hold of it and couldn't quite pick up Franco. Look at this from Vice Shodat. He's darted away anyway to safety.
Yeah, didn't have the support close that he was dropping the ball for, hoping it was somebody just behind him, but nearest player was a bit further away. Now they've got space to switch it to the right.
Muller thought about firing it in, decided to go for the wide option. Advantage, here the stick, and there is the penalty corner, first one of the game.
Corner given by Ian Diamond for the tackle on, I think, Stomps outside the circle as he came in. Stick was taken as he tried to dribble into the circle.
So first chance from the penalty corner in the game for the Swiss. Had the better of it in the opening 13-14 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't have many corners yesterday, did they?
No.
So they've got Martin Greder and Nick Schwer.
Shell with injection, and there is the celebrations on the opener and high fives, and Nick Schwer is at it again.
nicely executed corner. As we talked about yesterday, when you show the 2 stick stops at the top, it makes it more difficult for the defence to fully commit to defending one or the other and split their resources. The Portuguese are running a 2-2, but that flick was with pace and goalkeeper wasn't able to get across to cover it.
Schwer has been lively in and around the D, so it was always a matter of time when he was maybe a player you could possibly pick out from yesterday from a Swiss side. Never too many chances, but Schwer did try, and he's now in the act, and Swiss have a goal in the tournament, and here it is.
So, 2 stick stops, comes to the left, and they're running, Portuguese running 2 guys to top circle, didn't really commit to it, and gave Schwer a pretty easy access to the ball, good pace, high to the goalkeeper's right.
So Portugal 0, Switzerland 1. And in the 14th minute, Swiss with the lead through Schwer. Nice control from the high ball, and there's an excellent taken second, and that just seemed to come about 10 seconds before it went in, and Frederick Hillman is the man that's got a quick fire double.
Portuguese coach is going to be really unhappy about that, because they tried to press the Swiss on the Swiss's defensive left, but they didn't get the press right. Allowed the Swiss to transfer the ball all the way across the right, down the right hand side, and they just had greater numbers there than Portugal. And as we talked about yesterday, 1 goal and then another one comes pretty quickly. As the Portuguese, you need your players to be aware that they can't afford to concede another one as quickly as that.
And here comes Franco. It is almost like deja vu. 17th and 19th minute, Wales scored in the first period yesterday against the Portuguese, and 14th and 16th here. And it's 2 quick conceded goals, and now they're having to go and search the game like they had to yesterday. Now it's Schwer by Shoda in the D, or heading towards the D. Michel decides to go across that. Control by Hillman. Schwer and Hillman. And it's outside the D. That's where we are watching on, right in the centre of play, and it's been an entertaining first 16 minutes. By Shoda, continuing advantage. And the penalty corner, and Portugal just became really ragged now. They were comfortable, starting to weather the storm, and then they're just struggling to get themselves back into it now.
Yeah, as a coach, sometimes, Cal, where you want your players to recognise the flow of the game when you're under pressure, and not necessarily try and go up with 2 passes, but just sometimes you need to take the sting out of the game. If the other team are pressing, you need to make 7 or 8 passes. It doesn't matter if you just do it within your own 25. You just don't let them have the ball for a while. It takes the confidence. They have to chase it for a while. And Portugal have just been playing a bit of ping pong, trying to go up, losing it. It's been coming back, and it's been coming back at some pace.
Keller with injection. Oh! Hit the post from Nick Schwer. Could have been a double for him from the 2 penalty corners they've had. And that was almost 3 for the Swiss, and that would have been 3 in about 6 minutes. And it's just all white and black at the moment. Nice Shoda, can't keep hold of it. Stumbling on the floor, Pinheiro, but they've got cover back there in Gonçalves. Pinheiro. Turn away by Wenzel. But it's neat, slick. Pinheiro, can they get something from this? Portugal, it's all the way across the D. No one there though, bar Penetra.
Yeah, you see that the Portuguese send 2 players out to the 2 castles, and the one that's come to Nick Schwer doesn't really get. In fact, he didn't come out at all that time. Quite a disappointing corner defence, given where they scored from last time. He wasn't put under any pressure at all. They were looking for more players round about the goalkeeper to pick up the rebound.
Well, plenty of age ranges, as you can see there, watching on this first game. Scotland, I'm sure there'll be a few more from the home crowd in later for the 7:15 match against Slovakia. Fella just back on, was looking for it down this side. It's going to fall for a teammate. Fella does get it now, and again just arrived was Hillman, waiting to try and tap it into the back of the goal, but not quite. Hoodall coming to try and support. Leon is the umpire, and Portugal have it back. Moreira doing well.
Speaking to Mario Almeida, the Portuguese coach, and he was saying that he's a bit concerned, or not concerned, but he's having to work quite a lot on team defensive skills with the national squad, as though it doesn't come naturally to them, and when it breaks down they leave big gaps which can be taken advantage of, and that's what we're seeing here.
Muller tried to continue his run. Schneider was alongside his left, was asking for it, and he just managed to hook it away, but not very far. Schläger. Schläger, the real experienced head, the 35-year-old. Now Müller. Great support coming in, and great pace too from the Swiss across from Hillman. And it is found its way through. Another goal for the Swiss, and Hillman taking the celebrations. Applause all round in the third.
A good drive through, gets into the circle, ball deflects off his stick. Hillman gets the shot away, and
Foreign fella.
Yeah, good attacking options, having forward at each post. What we call extends the goal, so that the goalkeeper has to make saves that are with the ball going outside the post. So good build up by the Swiss. Again, the Portuguese just turning the ball over a little bit too easily.
What is wrong?
Fella with the goal, Hillman with all the credit in terms of the setup, getting plenty of the praise. And look at the space again. Here is Florian Feller just struggling to get hold of that fizzer of a pass.
Excuse me, isn't this the bench? This is the bench, right? You can sit there. That's alright. So you wait for
Back by Jose Santos. Cross from Portuguese, looking to try and find something, but again it's just given away. Trying to get the pass out his Hoodall, but
yeah, this is the period where you just want to hold on to the ball, even if it's just in your back 3-4 players. Just hold on to it for a couple of minutes. Let the Swiss work, or let the opposition work, so that they don't get the ball, so that all the work they're doing is without it.
Moreira tried to thread it through away by Schläger. Feller, a dunt in the back, and umpire is coming in for a little chat and maybe a bit more. In the end, it's Muller, the captain. I wonder if he's had a little bit too much to say.
I think the umpire, Shane O'Donnell, was suggesting that there were 2 or 3 consecutive tackles that he felt required a rest.
Certainly had plenty to say down there, but he's off going to have his little breather.
Patrick will not be too happy standing there or sitting there because his dad's the manager, so he'll probably be getting grief from both sides.
Portugal with the man advantage for the short term, but they are at a big disadvantage on the scoreboard, trying to work it through. Though Ferreira found the subordinate teammate, just danced around that ball. Not ideal for Rogerson, and now away comes Hoodle, supporting Grader. Grader still, and over the head of Schneider. Cross by Stomps, and the white jerseys up in the pressure once more, despite their captain Muller being taken for a little enforced rest. Michel Morard, Will Schlegger using the channel again. Paris Vallen ahead of Sebastian Schneider. Can they keep a hold of it? A bit of possession here. Came off the foot of Penetra.
If you look at the last 30 seconds and a minute of play at Cal, if you were to ask who was the team that you thought had 10 players,
it's not really changed the balance of play, has it?
No. Swiss taking up really good wide positions and forcing the Portuguese defence to come out to them, but they don't move as a unit. The Portuguese, they tend to come out as individuals. I'm slightly surprised that they haven't gone to their back four that they did yesterday. That might happen at half time, because for me just now the passes they have from their back three play slightly into the Swiss hands.
Just under 10 minutes left of this first period. Portugal 0, Switzerland 3. And in the end, not coming together. Results with the Swiss getting it back. Not too happy there is William Rogerson. Felt that he had a claim. So Swiss make use of their subs. Here's Franco. Oh, it's going to find its way through, is it? Not quite, from Rogerson. Koeffler's not done an awful lot to do. Back with Rogerson. And it's almost out the complex, that one.
High, wide and handsome. Rogerson, good opportunity, but it was one of these balls that he didn't expect it to come through. There were 2 or 3 Swiss that he thought was going to make the interception beforehand, and by the time it came to him he had to rush a short grip hit at it and didn't quite manage to get much on it.
Michael Morard, turn away from Feller. And again, a couple of them coming in, including Greda, who's just waiting at the goal.
Interesting why Shodat, number 5, was just waiting for a straight drop back in a good space when that ball was put in front of the goal. Just helping his pal to know where he was for the next time.
Hillman. Back with Goldschläger.
It's not a bad ball.
It's a very good one for Nick Schwer. Back with Lee Shodat. And it's going to come back to the Swiss and taken quickly. Shodat seen space. Now Martin Greda. He's trying to just thread it through for Florian Feller. Portugal haven't really made much use of counter, and losing out there is Wenzel. Penetra. And a hopeful one, but Robertson was not going to reach that, neither was Ribeiro.
Yeah, he needed to delay that just a little bit longer. Here's Swiss attacking the circle. That's the release ball, and there's number 5 standing in the penalty spot.
Came off the foot there of Schwer.
Again, the ball's just been given away by the Portuguese. They don't hold it for very many passes. It just means that the Swiss are coming back at them time and time again.
And it came off an arm there. And another penalty corner, and well, 2 from 2. It's been pretty deadly so far.
Yeah, and what surprised me last time was the corner defence that the Portuguese set up. They really didn't come out to pressure Nick Schwer, who'd scored the first one. Last one he rattled it off the post. So Fabian Wilschläger going on now to pass on instructions from the coach.
Manuel Keller to inject, and the Portuguese just making sure they're all set up in the goal.
Nick Schleyer on the near side and Martin Schleyer on the other.
Bit of a false start.
So he'll go to the halfway line, and it's quite interesting now that not very many coaches do a lot of work that how you take advantage of. They're now 1 down, so they have 1 less defender. You have more spaces that you can take the opportunity of.
Yeah, just a 3. And the goal, can they take advantage? It's a good try originally by Gradar, and then a miss-hit swipe in there. Schwer was in the mix too, but they've got away with it, the Portuguese, despite the 1 less outfield defender in the goal.
Yeah, and that was the point I was making. They went with a similar option that was a shoot from the top circle when there was only 1 runner, and they could have moved the ball to the other side and then had an easier shot in towards the goalkeeper.
Quickly taken, Wenzel and Pinheiro. Portugal looking for one back. Trying to get the Efrain Rogerson, and they've got a penalty corner and looking to get 1 back before the break.
And Rodriguez scored yesterday from their penalty corner, so it'll be interesting to see. His preferred option is to go to the goalkeeper's bottom right. Yesterday the Swiss ran a 2-2 defence against Scotland, so they had 2 runners coming out, 1 on each post, although the man on the defensive right post was just slightly outside. So this would be up to the goalkeeper to get this if it is Rodriguez.
Pinheiro with injection. Effort from Penetra. Worked on from Gonçalves, and well marshalled away. Now they're going to counter. Stomps is crying out for it into the D. Oh, it's missed by everyone in there. Here's the Portugal penalty corner.
Yeah, went to the first and then a transfer, but the goalkeeper Michael Kaufler made a good save, stood up and made himself big. More difficult for the attacker to score from that side.
Benedetto's trying to spin and turn himself away. Müller back there. Mikel Morad. Goldschlager. Put it forward to Keller.
I know Goldschlager's the most experienced player in the Swiss team, but for me, he holds on to the ball too long before making his decision. There are passes on really quickly if he just releases it, but he holds on in that 2-3 seconds before giving the pass, and quite often the most dangerous pass is actually closed down by then.
Chavez tried to keep hold. It's loose on. Pinheiro was never going to get there, and it's another cheap one. It's a hot potato defence at the moment. It just can't keep hold of it when they're trying to get rid of it. Hillman for Marco Michel, and Reitold coming together.
Now, if you were Portugal here, you wouldn't hurry to take the ball. You've got 50 odd seconds, you just keep possession and play the ball round the back. Almost looks as though they've gone to a back four at the moment, but I don't know whether that's by good judgment or... No, he's lost it. He's lost possession.
The story of the first half really, and now they're going to try and use the last 10 seconds. Weisschoda to Schneider. Weisschoda there, and behind coming in was Marco Michel to try and sneak in a fourth, but it's going to be 3 at the break for the Swiss, and really has been an excellent first period for them, and they've certainly a different side to what we've seen last night, the Swiss.
I think this performance gives the viewer a perspective on how good a Scotland team they are just now. I think the Swiss have controlled the game well. For me, the example, the very last 28-30 seconds there, the Portuguese had 3 passes round the back that they could have kept the ball for 28-30 whatever seconds. The right wing defender decided that he would take it down the channel, lost it, and the Swiss actually got a shot from that. For me, that's game intelligence, game sense, that you require your players to understand the timing of the game, the flow of the game, so that their decisions are influenced by that.
So the 3 goals, Nick Schwer got the first, Fredrik Hillman with the second, Sebastian Schneider with the third, and we'll take a pause and we'll be back with second half coverage in a few minutes' time. Welcome back then to our live coverage of day 2 of the Hockey World League round 1. As you can see, the Swiss side making their way back out from the changing room, and they've had a bit of time to take a bit of stock on their advantage. We've taken a bit of stock as well here in the commentary box, and obviously we talked about how the Swiss different opposition today, and obviously Scotland looked really well last night against the Swiss side, but the Swiss have made Portugal look quite poor today.
Well, I think they've adapted their game. We said before that Chris Faust had recognised that Scotland had a very strong, aggressive and mobile midfield, and the Swiss didn't want to play into it yesterday, so they used a lot of aerial balls to try and bypass that. Today they've seen that the Portuguese aren't as together defensively as their coach would want, so they're moving the ball quickly, identifying the gaps. Certainly had quite a lot of good attacks down this Swiss left flank in the first half, but then when they were switching the ball, had good support coming up on the right hand side. You're never sure whether the Swiss, having watched Switzerland play Scotland yesterday, thought that they were not a great Swiss side and therefore went back to their normal formation of 3-2-3-2. But it gave the Swiss the spaces that they were looking for. And certainly the second half, it looks as though they've set up again in a 3-2-3-2 formation.
Also, I see there that down below us is Antonio Camacho. He is off for the second period, so Andre Ramirez is going to get a chance in the goal. So bit of a change up all round for Portugal in this second period. Remember, you can get in touch on social media. It's at Scottish Hockey, hashtag HWL2016, at Scottish Hockey, hashtag HWL2016, and we can read out your thoughts post game and throughout the evening across our 2 games as we're back underway for the second period with the Swiss in control and looking to get their first 3 points, and they've got 3 goals of this week's competition, the first round of this Hockey World League.
Well, even with the first play there, the Portuguese get the ball into Rodriguez in the centre midfield position of the mid 3, but very quickly the Swiss get 3 players round about him and try and press the ball.
Schläger looking for an option, found it. Across to Müller. Keller. And not quite the communication from Michael and Greda. I think both kind of left it for each other. Slips galore. Mikel in towards the D. Back for Greda. Rather tight. Skipped away. Ramirez with his first real touch after coming on at the break. And the Portuguese goal. Keller trying to flick down and get away. Yves Morard. Oh, and it's helped on, but not quite found its way from Jan Hoodle.
Yeah, good deflection. Not appreciated by his teammate who's on the near post as it went past his head, but good effort. If you watch now, the Swiss are pushing a couple of forwards. It's really, really high calm. Actually, one in the circle of the Portuguese beside the goalkeeper. So the Portuguese are front marking. There's a real danger in this, that if the Swiss manage to get the ball through or maybe go aerial, that there's players with just a goalkeeper to beat. And there's one of them.
Found support. That was a lethal ball across. Grader had no chance. Again, they're just doing that again. Portugal just losing possession. And Keller in the reverse and turn and flick back by Hoodle, but all pressure once again on the Portuguese. It's the same pattern as the first half. Into the D it goes, and
that
came off.
Shot by Hoodle. It's symptomatic of the current game that they pick it up and they go onto the reverse side. The negative thing of that is that you don't see the goalkeeper coming out. If he turned on his front stick, he'd be open and he'd see what was happening, but by turning his back is to the goalkeeper, and by the time he goes to hit, the goalkeeper can be out there actually smothering it.
Muller for Stomps. Turn from Grader. Only fail for Jamal Pinheiro, but they've lost out again of Portugal. Stomps is trying to find the gap. Schlegger. Keller from Muller. That's a little bit of a sore one. Rogerson taken quickly by Muller.
The challenge for the Portuguese just now is, even with the ball in the back three, they have one pass to a midfield player, but they don't have another pass. So even that player then becomes isolated, and normally with 2 or 3 Swiss players round about him. So they don't have a passing pattern that allows them to go that pass and then another pass to move past the Swiss defence. Again, if you have a look, Callum, at the circle, at the far end, there's one Swiss player straight in front of the goalkeeper. Oh.
Down there, just looking at that, Fabian Wilschliger went down. It looked rather innocuous actually. The umpire's just stopped things, but he's back to his feet.
Sometimes you just catch your shoe in the turf, just moves the knee a little bit.
Certainly a bit of a grimace from the veteran. They've just joined us. 3 goals in the first period for Switzerland. A couple of quick succession from Schwer and Hillman, and then Schneider getting in the act. And Portugal chasing, but they've not really had an awful lot of possession in the final third today. Schlegger moving okay now.
Portuguese are trying to put a bit of a press on just now to steal the ball from the Swiss, but whilst they're getting numbers up.
Indeed, and can he work its way through? Whoa, Penetra and Rodinson are getting each other's way in the circle. And Wilschliger goes for the high option. I was looking for Sebastian Schneider. Looks like they're just taking a little break just to make sure everything's okay. After a little tumble a couple of minutes ago. Jonathan Apel back to Muller. Slip from Keller. Turning away comes Santos, and they've got one back, and well, they got one back at this sort of stage. 3-1 yesterday, and a little bit of a collapse. Jose Santos looks happy with that, but also signalling to the bench but it is one back for the Portuguese.
Yeah, good pressure. I think it came in off Muller's stick by the looks of things, but they've started to step up a little bit and put the Swiss back four under pressure and the Swiss midfield, so that if they make an error, either in a missed trap or a missed pass, then they can try and take advantage of it. They were sitting back quite a lot in the first half and giving the Swiss plenty of time to move the ball around the back.
Animated Portuguese sidelines. Well, it's a similar scenario. They kind of got that mini glimmer of a chance. Portugal got themselves back into it. It kind of fell apart with the red card for Tavares, but certainly have got a glimmer. Swiss trying to extinguish that glimmer. But Shoda was looking around for the ball. April. Mario Almeida down there, Portuguese coach, very lively. You maybe will hear some of what he's saying through our mics.
He's really annoyed. When the ball went back to the Swiss back two there, two of the Portuguese players just chased in with no chance of getting the ball and almost took themselves out of play, allowing the Swiss to build up an attack. There's times when you press and there's times when you don't, and you need to do it as a team and as a unit, and not just as individuals.
Hillman. Rodriguez trying his best to put him off. Feller trying to thread it through. I showed that couldn't reach. João Ferreira. Put back by Penetra, looking for Ribeiro. Portuguese player down, and a bit of conversation going between the umpires.
Yeah, they were trying to build it up down the left hand side, and Penetra came in to deflect the ball in towards the circle, reached out for it, but the Swiss defender was on his back, and a bit of a collision.
Rodriguez as they get on with the free hit. Ivo Moreira. It's going to go the Swiss way, and not too happy with that. The 2 or 3 red jerseys that are in the D.
Huge difference in the second half has been that the Portuguese are now front marking in the midfield and the back, so that the Swiss don't have the same time to play the ball, and they don't have the same options, and so the pressing of the Swiss back four by the Portuguese forwards sometimes creates a turnover.
High searching one. Oh, it's been left behind by Murad, and all the way across the D, and well, that was a chance there, because Wenzel just was waiting and played it across. No one was there just to poke it in.
As we talked about yesterday, Calm, actually the better ball was a drop back the way. He had support back down the pitch, but putting it all across in front of the goal doesn't always result in one of your teammates being there. You see how much harder the Portuguese are working in midfield and when they don't have the ball, and trying to make things happen. And Mario was saying that at half time yesterday he had to tell them that they could play against the Welsh, and it again looks Good break by the Swiss.
They showed that, just breezing through into the circle. And an excellent block came in from Barras Valet.
Yeah, so the last 5-6 minutes they've looked as though they actually believe and they're playing a bit and really committing themselves in the defensive area.
Yves Harad went out wide, Hoodle was around. Keller gets the advantage of the clattering with Teixeira.
Yeah, he didn't get a clear advantage, so Ian Diamond pulls it back and gives the free hit. Here's a question for you. We picked out 2 players from Portugal yesterday that we thought were a bit special and contributed hugely. One was Rodriguez, who's number 7. The other was Franco, number 5. We've hardly seen him on the pitch today. He's hardly been on the pitch.
Yep.
So you just wonder whether he's carrying an injury, because he caused quite a lot of danger to the Welsh when he was up front on his own, and yet we haven't really seen anything. Haven't seen him on the park.
Ribeiro across for Wenzel. Wenzel and the flick and the turn, and just wide it goes. Ricardo Teixeira, and umpires have stopped play. There's a look in the back pitch. There's a warm-ups, of course, for the next game, Scotland and Slovakia. And just getting all the furniture back together. Michael Kerfler.
You can see the difference that Mario Almeida is making with the team during the game. You start off playing in a particular way, but he's really got them being aggressive just now defensively when the Swiss have the ball. The first half they weren't doing that. They were more or less letting the Swiss dictate what was happening. Now they're getting further forward very aggressively, and the Swiss have got less time to make the decisions, and therefore they're not making quite as good decisions, and the ball's turning over.
Marielli forward to Schwer. Neat reverse for Hoodle. Hoodle dancing around. Back with stomps around the support, and just going to take it a bit more canny here. Oh, good pressure and cut out well by Penetra. Came off Wolfschläger. Space here for Miguel Rodriguez. Couldn't find the pass. Coming a little bit here, him scaring Rodriguez, cutting it in and taking it. Cross by Ferreira. Oh, the cross again, the face of goal by João Penetra. Jose Santos takes it quickly. Ferreira and Santos linking up. Just marshalled out by Switzerland. It's becoming a bit harem scarum. And very end to end, a bit like the first 10 minutes really, but Portugal got more of a foot in it, but now there's the danger. Hoodle. Marielli to the right. Oh, kept on going and went for the fast try, but well wide.
Yeah, it was a good break. Took it onto his reverse, and but here's the Portuguese attacking into the circle, and the reverse stick off the inside of the goalkeeper's right pad, so he didn't have an awful lot about it. Again, Portuguese begin to create things into the Swiss circle at a long corner, and again the Portuguese are probably one of the few teams that have a set move from a long corner, so they'll have somebody will lead out, there'll be a deflection. Thank you. So they have somebody who leads out the circle, just a nice easy deflection for someone coming in behind to that space to try and get a shot away. I think as a coach you become quite frustrated when your team starts to play at 3-0 down. But he'll be a lot happier with what they're showing at the moment. Nice one too.
Apel forward. Hoodle. Clear only as far as Marielli. Not quite the control from Michael Morard, but recovered. Turn and spin by Swiss player Michael. That was in there still across on that side. Marco Michael. Goes all the way back to Muller.
Now earlier on in the game he would have had a pass right away. He checked back and checked again. So you can tell from that how quickly the Portuguese are closing down angles and closing down passes.
Looked like that came off the foot, but advantage as the Swiss have it back with Schneider. Looking for someone on again. Grader this time. And there's 3 white bodies in there. One of those was Jan Hoodle, but none of them could combine to finish.
Yeah, and the Swiss were unfortunate there, but the Portuguese very lucky in a good interception in their circle, but then the release ball, instead of being out of town, actually was played straight to a Swiss player who then could create an attack.
Now look at that.
Yeah, it came with such pace that it was really difficult to get down in time. See again that the Swiss are now turning the ball over a little bit more within the 23 halfway period place that they weren't in the first half, because the Portuguese are stepping up, putting them under a little bit of pressure. But that's what frustrates a coach. 2 easy passes and decides to go one-on-one, loses possession, and the momentum that you had as a team going forward is lost.
Just over 16 minutes left then in this second period. Morard, Michael Morard, that was, found Hoodle. Keller turns away for Fabian Wilschläger. Once more getting away, Wenzel now. Just looking to keep hold of it and try and patiently work something here. Rodriguez, that's high, and pocket is going to be going to, and there's going to be a yellow shown, and some surprise in that decision. I think she was maybe expecting a green, but in the end it's going to be 5 for Hillman, and now there's a real opportunity for the Portuguese as they look to get on with it. Teixeira trying to fire it in, and they've got Perta corner. This is going to get a very interesting dynamic here over the next few minutes.
Yeah, Shane O'Donnell suggesting that Hillman actually kicked the ball away deliberately, stopping the Portuguese from taking a quick free hit, and that was for the yellow card. And now the Portuguese have a corner.
Well, it would be a bit of a finale if we get a second here. 3-0 at half time. This wasn't really threatening, but again, just to get a foothold, and a bit like yesterday, it's kind of upped their confidence.
Yeah, so we've got Teixeira coming off one stick stop, and looks like Rodriguez coming off the other.
There's Shamal Pinheiro to inject.
And out too early.
Walking away there, Jan Hoodle. So there's now a bigger advantage here.
Now it's a bit of cat and mouse now, because the defence have to decide whether they send one runner all the way out, which isolates him from the other defenders, or whether he goes slowly but with a drag flicker. Can't really afford to hang back.
Pinheiro, take two. Rodriguez with the hits and took him out of a sore run. They've survived that moment, but still with the Portuguese.
For me, you need to take advantage of that one player down, and having your drag flicker just run it into the first runner doesn't do that.
Forward away comes Greda. Kangaroo sticks, but Swiss have it, and we're looking to try and tick down the clock. Hoodle weaving in and out, carrying on, and the support is found, and Florian Feller gets his second, and that will surely be job done once and for all.
Great run by Hoodle. He was originally fouled, but managed to get through. But then the Portuguese defenders coming in didn't put him in the right direction. They allowed him to keep going towards goal instead of trying to channel him to the side, and poor marking to allow the shot. And we're talking about flow of a game. Portugal have been pushing. They've been probably in the ascendancy for the last 5+ minutes or so, and then suddenly just one action and they're now 3 goals behind. But great opportunity again, building up to Jose Santos, but you need to take these opportunities. So it could quite easily have been a corner, could have been 3-2, became 4-1, could have been 4-2.
It's amazing the deja vus that are happening here. Very similar, obviously. They were kind of trying to ascend when they were 3-1 down against Wales and got punished. And despite Hillman being down and out of the action with the yellow, they went up the other end and they've just got that clincher. And still obviously an emerging nation in hockey. It's a good bit of play. Teixeira. Sport coming in, and just again that slip and a slide, and Santos can't do anything there.
Yeah, it's just that first touch, and I think, speaking to the coach Mario Almeida earlier on, he needs 2 or 3 international quality players to add to his squad, and he's got to build them because you can't go out and buy them in this game. But there's some of the players that are good players, but at this level first touch isn't quite good enough. They either need to step up or some of the younger players need to come in.
Portugal on that side that have ever qualified for a World Cup or Olympics. Switzerland, it's been a little while in terms of Olympics. 1960 last time, but they are modest ranking, obviously 30th. Portugal 41st. They were ranked 50th after the last World Hockey League. So looking to try and see how we can compete with the sides this week. But they have had their spells, but scoreline doesn't lie at the moment with 10 to play. Maybe the commentators cast I was teeing up an exciting final 15 if Portugal with the advantage were looking to get a second, and the Swiss went up the other end.
They're just running the ball out a wee bit again, whereas when they had the ascendancy or when they had good play, they were actually passing it, they were finding each other. The 2 lines are becoming a bit separate now.
Hillman back on with that ball over the top for Schwer. Rodriguez in the middle there. Certainly another decent performance from him today. Penetra. Oh, that's neat, but that's not going to work out in the end despite Rogerson's dive.
Yeah, unfortunately it was inside the 25. The ball needs to travel 5 metres before it can be fired into the circle. So sometimes with when the rules haven't been in for a fair while, but the players in the heat of the moment forget and see a free player and try and feed it through.
Space for Coda, the captain, back to Miguel Rodriguez.
And player down on the far side.
And down there crosses Ivo Moreira. Didn't actually see what happened there, but in the forward, I don't know if he just took a little tumble. Just taking a moment to regather his thoughts. Pat in the back by Miguel Rodriguez. I think he was pointing it to his shoulder. I think that's what's he's mentioning to the umpire, but looks okay. Of course, remember you can get in touch on Twitter. You're at Scottish Hockey and using the hashtag HWL2016. At Scottish Hockey, hashtag HWL2016. You can read out your thoughts on this game or any thoughts ahead of the next game after this match. Of course, the next game up at 7:15 is the host Scotland against Slovakia, as Penetra trying to barge his way in towards that circle again.
Yeah, good defending by Yves Moran. Stick in front of his feet, expecting the Portuguese to try and make the deflection into his foot.
Wenzel can't keep it in.
Manager Kurt Muller there, father of Patrick, encouraging the team. You can see what happens there, that the Portuguese have stepped so many players up. The Swiss are now able to use the aerial ball to bypass a lot of the midfield, and
two coaches having a bit chat down there on the sidelines below us. Any idea what that would be about?
I think they're just sharing a piece of chewing gum. They're really good friends. Yeah, Chris and Mario.
It's went in, obviously that won't count, coming off Pinheiro. I'll see if he's got any spare chewing gum left after the game.
Super tackle.
And away they come, Ribeiro. Cross for Penetra.
Another good tackle.
Gil Ferreira tried to come in. Wenzel there too. Now some space for Rogerson. Tried his best in the D. Looked to tee up someone, and Penetra was one of those waiting.
Yeah, it was a good attack, but they only had a couple of other players, and when you've only got two, you have to make sure of your pass rather than just putting it into a danger area. Just looking down at the Portuguese bench, and David Franco seems to be sitting against the wall rather than sitting on the bench, as though he's not really taking part in the game. So I don't know whether he's carrying an injury, but it doesn't look as though he's likely to play.
Crossed by Gonçalves. It's a real stinger for them when the Swiss got the fourth when they were trying to ascend. Put pay to them getting anything. It's a long fastball for the captain, Coda. Rogerson was trying in vain to keep hold. Oh, and it could fall here for Ribeiro. And just doing enough there is Kufler.
Really good save by the keeper coming out. It was a good pick up by Rivera going in to the circle. Goalkeeper, quick decision making to come out and close the angles down.
Cross by Ferreira. Neto is around once more in vain.
Good double triple team there from Portugal getting in and closing down the options for the Swiss defender.
Slipping and sliding across the D, couldn't quite find Ribeiro. Final 4 minutes. Hoodle trying to get away. Moreira as well, and Portugal have it back. Just looking to try and find a second on the board. Moreira's delivery, Müller in the way.
Again, he had a good pass out wide to create a little bit of space, but decided to go into top circle. And now, good interception. Koda.
Chavez. Moreira gives it straight to Feller. Feller just walks in his way into the circle.
Oh.
Martin Greda answers in a postcard on that one, please.
The phrase "when it seemed easier to score" comes to mind on that one. But that was the giveaway in midfield was one of these passes where the player's been told by his coach where to look for it, but he didn't see the defender that was standing in the space. So just got to be better in decision making, have a look, see where the space is.
Stomps. Too heavy. The last couple of minutes here.
Yeah, Sebastian Schneider needs to just be ready for that defender missing that ball and play for it just in case. If you think the defender's going to get it and then he misses it, you don't have time to change your mind.
And umpire back into the pocket and frustrations.
William Rogerson tackling, not really getting 5 yards. Retreating from the foul, and to be honest, with the amount of defensive running he's done in the last 5 minutes, he maybe not too disappointed to have a seat for a minute or two. Yeah, a few tired bodies out there now, and although the tackles are knocking people down, not very many of them malicious, are just tiredness from a fully committed set of players.
Well, a 4-goal Schwer and Hellman with 2. I was giving Failer both of the other goals, but officially they've changed their minds to Schneider getting the third. Probably something we can clear up post game, but they've got the 4. Portugal thought they were maybe going to hint of a comeback a bit like yesterday with Santos, but in the end it's been comfortable for the Swiss. Just about anything but maybe that 10-minute spell, and into the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, again Rodriguez has given a really good shift for the Portuguese in the middle there. Tried to make things happen. Coach will be happy in some ways at the way they stepped up, but not happy that they had to step up and they didn't play like that from the start.
So the Swiss are going to get their first 3 points in this week's Hockey World League, and after yesterday's disappointing display against
two coaches, good
the
friends,
Scots,
and
handshakes all round, though. Certainly these two have been a bit of a joy to watch down here. They've been very vocal and very animated, but all hugs in the end. And for the Swiss, they know that, well, they're back in it now, at least after yesterday's disappointment for Portugal again. There's a lot to admire about the qualities they do have. Maybe it shows a little bit naivety at this level, but certainly whatever happens this week, they're still going to be a team you're going to be quite excited to watch, because they do have chances and they do have that bit of threat in there.
Yeah, they do. They've got some creativity within that squad, and as the coach said to us before the start of the tournament, he's trying to find out a bit about his team at this tournament to try and build for the European Championship next year. So they're under a bit of pressure, and now he can see what the key areas that they need to work on. Swiss coach has taken over. He brought a few youngsters into the squad. He's not had a long time to work with them, but I think he'll be a lot happier with what he's seen today. Probably a little concerned that when the Portuguese did step their defence up, here's one of the corners, first corner from Nick Schleer. Lovely drag flick, keeper's right. Nice delivery to the top circle, and you can see that the Portuguese second defender isn't really close enough to put pressure on that on the drag flick.
This is obviously some of the action from the first period, and obviously the Swiss were busy getting their goals at 3 in fairly quick succession.
Great pick up. I see no defenders there. Came across, deflection at the near post. If you look how far the Swiss player gets to run with nobody coming near him, and then if you see again, two forwards, one at each post, just ready there for the hit.
See, it looks like from there as well. Obviously, we thought it was fully going to be Keller's goal, but it looks like in the air that Schneider did get that little tap in at the back stick. So you can see that one's been given officially to him. So that's cleared that one up. And there's the next one.
Portuguese coming in. Good pick up. Goes around the outside. Delivers the ball across. And it looks like Muller went to try and get the deflection. The goalkeeper logged and it just looped over him. Again, great skills. Shadowed the wrong way, allowed to go to top circle to feed his teammate, and that was just a lovely goal. I think Feller was it that too many Portuguese players caught upfield at that point. Can't afford to have players unmarked or international or at any level. But again, a good reverse stick. Goalkeeper would be disappointed, came in at his near post, but he was still coming across to close down that angle when the shot went away. So that's the best of the action from this one. We've got a bit of a break now for the home side, Scotland against Slovakia. That's ahead at 7:15. But there's confirmation: Portugal 1, Switzerland 4, and Swiss with their first 3 points in this encounter after losing yesterday heavily against the Scots. But it'll be Scotland's turn, the home side, at 7:15. Remember, you can get involved with the conversation at Scottish Hockey with the hashtag HWL2016. At Scottish Hockey, hashtag HWL2016. Malcolm on Twitter has said, don't know much about hockey, but enjoying the excellent pictures from hashtag HWL2016. So great to get your thoughts, Malcolm, and you can get your thoughts. Scotland fans or Slovakian fans, get in touch and you can join our coverage from ahead of that one at 7:15. But from the first game of the day, it's 3 points, the first 3 points of the tournament for the Swiss.